as of recording, it is April 13th. The time is 2 minutes to 10. So we are less than 12 hours away from continuing this new exciting adventure for me and Jade in the world of theme parks. In less than 12 hours' time, we will be going to Thorpe Park Resort. It has been a wild 18 months for us to go from just avid watchers of theme parks to actually starting to go and experience these. And not only within tomorrow will we be experiencing Thorpe Park, but we'll also be experiencing something else in London. But obviously Thorpe Park Resort's home to the UK's biggest and fastest rollercoaster in Hyperia. We've also got Stealth, Swarm, Saw the Ride, and Nemesis Inferno, and many more to experience. So with that in mind, welcome to an island like no other. Welcome to Thorpe Park. I haven't filmed the first little bit of it, so currently it is 12:22. So we've been at the park since about 9 o'clock. We've been on 2 rides. So firstly, well, I'll explain it to Jade. So Jade,
I wanted to go to Hyperia first because we was near the front.
nope. Well, you can tell by her disappointment how she felt. Basically, the plan was to run all the way to Hyperia, then go doing everything else. But as we was rolling past, I was like, oh, Colossus is pretty empty. If we go on that, then Hyperia will still be the same, but we'll have at least had a ride already. So I dragged Jade onto a front row ride of Colossus. Front row, only waited about 5-10 minutes, and it broke down on the lift hill.
Great.
Wasn't a very happy camper. We've then made our way over to Hyperia. Now, the queue time when we went in was about 75 minutes. How long has it taken?
It was 60.
60?
60 minutes.
Yeah. We ended up waiting nearly over 95 minutes. But was it worth it?
It was worth it, but I feel like they should, overestimate the queue times. And it was only like, what, a minute long, but it was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, for me. Although event throughput I didn't think was actually too bad. It just seems a little bit slow. And obviously, like I said, for the queue time we waited, could have been a little bit better. But in terms of a ride itself, it's a 10 out of 10. It's definitely my favourite ride now in the UK. In terms of overall experience, however, I'd still say Nemesis Reborn. I know it's not meant to be a massively themed ride. It just feels a little bit... Again, it's not meant to be massively themed, but I just think for me, I feel more immersed in the experience in Nemesis Reborn than Hyperia. I don't know what Jade would say about that.
The fact it's not a themed ride, combined with how short it is, Nemesis pushes it a little bit. But still 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I'll cut her off there. But yes, so I think we're gonna go do Saw. It's very busy today, a lot more than I was expecting it to be. So we're gonna go try and do as much as we can. Like I said, we've got about 6 and a bit hours left now. We're gonna try and do the best we can. I think we're gonna try and go over to Saw then, try single rider. Experience more of Thorpe Park, but let's keep going. We're now going on Saw the Ride.
90 minutes?
No. We're gonna go do single rider. Now I'm quite interested in this ride. I love the films. So I'm really interested to see how this is gonna do. How's Jay gonna feel though?
I hate horror films.
Very interested to see how this goes. So yeah, we're gonna go single. I think we have to go now. We're gonna go in single rider. We'll see how long it takes. Right, we've given up after about 10 minutes. It's on a 65-minute queue. And bear in mind, I don't mind waiting for it, but given that I'm already a bit tired.
I know. We should have joined the regular queue, because at the end of the day, it's gone down from 90 to 65 in 10 minutes, and the single rider hasn't moved. So everyone's coming in 4s or 10s. So, well, that's just my opinion.
Anyway, I think we're going to head over to Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride, which is on 5 minutes. Probably have a quick lunch. And then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, we'll hopefully come back to this one because I do still want to ride it, even if it means maybe last ride of the day. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're going on Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride. Yeah. I'm happy to confirm that was the most intense ride and best ride we've had here today. What'd you say to Mr. Monkey's banana ride?
What a ride!
That was absolutely superb. Anyway, we're now going to go on the Walking Dead ride. Now, me and Jade are a little bit apprehensive of this, purely because there's apparently actors at the end. And if you've seen our Halloween vlog, Jade didn't go through.
I can't cope. I can't even do better.
And I don't know how I'm going to do this, so... But it's on a 35-minute queue. We're going to do this, and then we're probably going to go have lunch. Yeah, it's going to give Walking Dead the ride a go.
I hope I survive.
Hope so. So then after about 15-20 minutes there, I've come off The Walking Dead, the ride. Now, I didn't bring Jade along, unfortunately, because there was live actors at the end, and having a little bit of discussion, I thought it would be best not to bring her on. However, she would have been absolutely fine on that. That has got to be probably the most disappointing ride in terms of an overall experience that's offered here at a theme park. Literally, they advertise for live actors. There's only 2 that appear right at the end, and that's at the start of the exit corridor, and not really doing a good job. And then for the most bit, you walk through the end corridor, no real scares, no real actors, and you just feel a sense of letdown. The theming and all around it, I really do like, and I appreciate what's gone into getting The Walking Dead here. As for a ride itself, though, it's just so underwhelmingly disappointing. It's not really that scary. The scariest bit is probably the first bit where you have the pre-show. However, the actual ride, I can appreciate the theming again. As a ride, it's okay, it's all right, but it's nothing more than that. For me, that's incredibly disappointing, and I don't want to say a bit of a waste of time, but yeah. If you needed a retheme or just to remove the area itself for something new, I wouldn't really be surprised, but I just think it's such a massive letdown. So once again, we are going to try Saw the Rise time. We're going in the main queue. 75 minutes might be a little bit of a long wait, but we've had some lunch. Jade's got a Cheps. She's got Cheppy Cheps. So we're going to give this a go. Hopefully queue times will die down then, and we'll see you after the ride. So we've just come off, saw the ride, queued about 75 minutes. How'd you find it, Jay?
Yeah, it was good to be fair, it was nice.
I mean, the problem I have with it is just the length. When you go off the Smiler, and it's a lot more, there's a lot more to it. It's kind of a little bit of a Debbie Downer, because it does feel like you queue such a long time and it ends so quickly. But I must say, the theming of it is absolutely cool. I love the Saw films. So for me, just to see it is in a really nice state. After all these years as well. In terms of a ride as well, it wasn't actually too bad. Towards that second last little bit, it was a little bit jolty.
The restraints were really nice and soft on like the side and the sides of your head. They were really nice and padded, but I've hurt my neck somehow.
Might just be the jolting about. But like I said, the theming of it's great. Yeah, just be nice if it was a little bit longer. But I love the theming and I love just the general environment.
I wish we was getting more done today. I really wish we was
Yeah,
getting more
we'll probably have a discussion about that at the end of the day. But let's head on over to our next ride.
Good shot then.
I've got it anyway. As you can see there, we're about to go on Tidal Wave. I've changed it to my jacket. Jade's staying as she is.
I'm so excited for Tidal Wave.
Right, let's see how we get on. So then, from when we last joined you, we have had how many rides on Tidal Wave? How was it?
Well, I'm soaked. And so is Ben. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, well done. I'm lovely and soaked. No, yeah, but that was an absolutely great ride. We had a back row, then we went straight over for a middle row, then we went straight on a front row, and it was a great experience. And then we've just come off Detonator up there, and that was a great little experience. Not too bad of a wait time, about like 10-15 minutes. So it's currently about 4:10. Jade's going to change clothes, and then we're going to go do Nemesis Inferno, maybe quick have a look at merch, and then we're probably going to try and get a ride on the Swarm. Does that sound good?
Yeah, and a milkshake. Woo!
And a milkshake. Let's get going. Yeah.
I know this is Ben's vlog, but just want to say I'm so disappointed about Stealth. Look at it in all of its beauty.
So then we've just had a ride on Nemesis Inferno. We're actually walking through Colossus. How was it?
It's good, but it's not reborn.
No, it's got nowhere near the same intensity, nowhere near the same level of fun to it. It's a decent ride for what it is, but definitely Nemesis Reborn. So the plan is now we're going to go over to Swarmway, probably going to go on the Flying Fish. Jade wants a milkshake, although we'll give it 20 minutes and see. And then we'll queue for the Swarm, which will be our final ride of the day. Shame we're not going to get on Stealth as well, and also some of the other flat rides, but at least we've done most of the coaster.
Yeah. We'll talk about Stealth later, because that's a touchy point for me, especially after Red Force incident.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it, but yeah, let's go and head over to the Flying Fish. Nope. No. Stealth. Swarm. Same ride. So we end our day then at Thorpe Park with a great ride on the Swarm, the B&M winged coaster, and I tell you what, that is a bloody smooth ride. I'd go as far to say that's probably one of my favourite UK roller coasters. In fact, one of my favourite roller coasters in the UK. Yeah, it's a little bit short, but I tell you what, for the actual themed area, Swarm Island, the general experience you get on the ride, and not to mention some of the great elements and general smoothness of the track, that is an absolutely great coaster and a great way to end as well. We had a back row ride. We'll get Jade's opinion in a moment, but for me, that's got to be one of the best rides I've ever done, the best roller coasters. Great little bits of theming, like the fire truck, the head chopper element, the billboards. Yeah, what an absolutely superb ride. We're going to head up to the shop now, to the Dome, see what's there, and then we'll have a little bit of discussion at the end of the video. Jade, what did you think finally?
10 out of 10. It was so good. And it kind of makes up for not being able to do Stealth, not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's really good. So smooth.
So smooth. There you go. Right, let's go head up to the Dome. Okay then, so after a great day out, we are finally home from Thorpe Park. What have just been your thoughts of today? First of all, though, we will get into, because we do have some things we'd like to talk about. First, what have you made of it, though, today? First ever visit.
Really enjoyed it. It was really fun. There was a couple things I think we wasn't too happy with, but we had a really great time, and we would definitely come back.
Yeah, definitely love it. Well, what I love about it is it offers something different from Alton Towers. I think that's what kind of you need. Like, again, for the thrill seekers, it's something nice to see, have a different offering for a different target audience. And I think that's a nice change to have from the family type style park that you get at Chessington to more of the family thrills that you get at Alton Towers to just more general thrills park with Thorpe Park, which is a really nice change to see. I think we'll start with merchandise then, if you want to go first.
Okay, so I got this Hyperia Thorpe Park pin. And
Subtle
I got this key ring, and it sounds nice.
For a bit of ASMR there.
A little bit nice. I don't know. I suppose it could become annoying. I was hoping. So it's got different wings on. I like that wing. And the Hyperia name logo.
Very cool stuff. You were interested in the shirt. And also just the general Thorpe Park merchandise they brought out for this year. But you couldn't decide.
I was interested in the shirt. I thought the Hyperia shirt, it was lovely. I didn't know if it was necessarily my style. And the sizing was a bit off. I think they could do with like consulting some other people for the merchandise. And then I was a bit iffy about what logo to get with the new logo situation. But I'm happy with what I got.
Groovy. In terms of myself then, I've gone for, after our delectable last ride, I've gone for a Swarm keychain there. Looks very cool detail if you can see that. I've also got a Swarm t-shirt. Jay, if you want to hold the mic.
Of course.
Ooh. So it's just a very simple black t-shirt. Swarm at the top. We've got some little codes on the side. Don't know if you can see that very well. And then just a little simple graphic on the back, which I think looks nice. That was £28. Obviously a little bit pricey for merchandise there, but I think a lot of their designs for me personally were quite cool. And then the main thing that I did acquire on this trip, following our brilliant ride on Hyperia, because I had seen that they were selling these, and I'm kind of interested in these. We have the Hyperia resins for the ride cart. Looks absolutely gorgeous. That was a great purchase, I think. Like I said, because Alton Tower's been doing these as well, it's nice to see that just the general Merlin attractions offer these from the park. So this is a really nice feature there.
I think you should talk about the ones that you've got from Towers.
I've also got the Nemesis Reborn train resin as well. And then also the Smiler one as well. So they're really good detail ones. And I like that one that they do. I think that they did one for Colossus, I want to say. It'd just be nice to see a bunch of them. Because I know they've got one as like a general, like brief ride.
Stealth and Swarm had one.
Yeah, like a brief like ride snapshot resin. So I think those are quite cool. We'll have to wait and see what else they bring out in the future. So I think the main thing we should be talking about really is Hyperia. Obviously the brand new attraction for Thorpe Park Resort in 2024. The UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster built by Mack Rides. It was also kind of the main reason we went today for it, along with just the general park experience. But if you had to pick one ride, it would obviously be Hyperia. What did you make?
Brilliant. Too short. Yeah.
Too short of a ride experience. It's the same as what everyone else says, really. As a coaster itself, it's absolutely superb. It's definitely fitting of the best ride in the UK. In terms of a length of experience, yeah, it could be a lot longer. You by the time you come over the hang time inversion, like you're sitting there thinking you want a bit more from it. And unfortunately, it's after that moment where it's like, oh, that's it. The ride's over. So you're kind of hopingly, desperately wanting a bit more from the ride, which I think they could have done. Could have pushed it a little bit further. But in terms of a ride experience, it's absolutely superb.
We're coming at that from the perspective as well of we've done Shambhala,
Ventura.
Yeah, but also I've done the big one and you've not.
No.
Which obviously formally held the record.
Yeah. So like for me, the best restaurant I've only got is Shambhala, which is a great ride as well. If I'd have to compare the two, I'd probably still just say Shambhala, and that's what I kind of wanted to address with the sense of, whilst as a ride I like Hyperia. As an overall attraction, including the theming, I would still say something like Nemesis Reborn or Shambhala. Now, I know Hyperia is not meant to be about the theme, it's more about the ride experience. But I just think as a general area and just a more level of immersion, I just think Nemesis Reborn does it so much well. Even the Swarm, like just that whole island.
Swarm was incredible. We was blown away by the theming of Swarm. All we could do was like stand in awe at everything, pointing things out, didn't we?
That complete area is, for me, the best area on the park. I know it helps that the ride matched it as well. Again, a bit short, but yeah, for me, from my overall experience, I like Nemesis Reborn. But from my ride experience, I absolutely love Hyperia, and that's something that, I think we're definitely going to go again in the future, and hopefully get some more ride on it. We had a near enough back row ride. Hopefully we get a real back row ride and a front row ride, see what it's like at both ends.
Yeah, hopefully. Swarm was so smooth.
Swarm was absolutely smooth. We had a back row ride to end off that, and it was a really nice way to cap off the day. Obviously, we had Colossus at the start of the day, which wasn't bad. Front row.
I think we spoke about Lift Hill.
Just was all right. Just a lift hill breakdown. What a perfect way to jinx your first visit.
They're trying their best.
And then, obviously, as well, I did the Walking Dead ride. Jay did not. I thought that was a little bit of... Oh, I've already said it in the video, but it's probably the most disappointing experience I've ever done. Especially with the live actors. It's not really worth having them in there if you're not going to have more than two, and especially right at the start. We've also saw the ride. I like the theming of it, and as a Gerstlauer, I thought it was actually a pretty decent experience. Again, it felt a little bit short, and when you've gone on something like the Smiler and what that has to offer, it kind of does make you feel like that they could push the boat a little bit.
I almost feel like if you're new to theme parks, maybe you should try Thorpe Park first, then Towers.
Yeah. Bless you. And then, obviously, Nemesis Inferno.
Excuse me.
Definitely Nemesis Reborn all the way. Inferno's fine for what it is. If anything, to have a B&M invert at another park just doesn't really feel the same level of intensity or...
No, you turned to me as soon as we got off, and you literally went, Reborn. Because you knew I was going to...
Just the overall experience, it just doesn't compare. Now, the one that we didn't get to experience today was Stealth. And this now kind of leads on to kind of some of our issues with the park today. Stealth obviously was not open today. I don't believe it's been open for the last few days.
No, I don't think so.
Now, obviously, we would have liked to have gone on it. We would have gone on it. And given that we did do the Flying Fish, again, although Jay didn't do the Walking Dead ride, we would have done all the coasters at least. Now, unfortunately, if there is technical issues, there's technical issues. We can't do anything about it. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to experience it, given how far we have to travel for it. But again, you can't have it all. That's fair enough. And that's obviously, it gives us another reason now to go again for next year. We also didn't really get to experience pretty much any of the flat rides, unfortunately. The only real ones that we did were the Monkeys Banana Ride and...
There's another one.
There is another one. I don't think we actually did. We did Tidal Wave 3 times. That's not really a flat ride. Rides like Rush...
Detonator.
Oh, Detonator, that's the one. We did do Detonator. That kind of does technically count. Didn't do Rush, Zodiac, Quantum. Although that little section of rides.
Rush was on half an hour or more for the whole day. And I think that's too much for a flat ride to wait when there's other stuff going on. Like, we couldn't justify it to ourselves. Not too much for the park, but too much for ourselves to justify. And obviously they're trying their best and working so hard, but it'd been nice to have those filler rides. And then Stealth was a big one for me because it's not announced on the website that it's closed for any reason, but it's been closed for a couple of days. It'd be nice if it was on the website.
I think the problem is, when you're like us and this is your first time going, for me, the importance is to do the coasters, and if we get the flat rides in, then it's great. But when they're on like 30 minutes or more, then it's a little bit... It's off-putting. I'm not knocking flat rides for being, just nowhere near the same level of enjoyment as a roller coaster. It's just that it's hard to want to queue in them with those times. And it also points to the times of today. Like, we joined that Hyperia queue at around 70 minutes.
I think it was more.
I think it was more.
60.
Yeah, we ended up waiting nearly 90 to 100 minutes, which again is a long time. We must have waited approximately an hour, and that was a hard wait. And then some other rides fluctuate, like Nemesis Inferno. We must have queued for 50 minutes, and we ended up waiting probably about 20 to 30 minutes. The Swarm was pretty much about 10-15 minutes. It's a little bit inconsistent with those ride availability times, and that's just something I would like to see improved.
I think really finally then, for me at least, I know unless you've got anything more, just for me from a general sense of the park, obviously we're more used to Haunted Towers. We've been, 4 or 5 times now?
I think more.
I think more from myself and more from you. That style of park, and it kind of goes back to the idea of, whilst it's nice to have a different sense of feeling and theme going around through the park, it does make you sit there and think sometimes the magicalness of Haunted Towers does make, Thorpe Park pale in comparison. Like, yes, it's a bit smaller of an island. Obviously, you can't have the same, and it's not really meant to be about the themes. It does make you sit there and wonder sometimes, well, could I, as a park, feel more attached to Haunted Towers than Thorpe Park? And I'd sit there and feel more attached to Haunted Towers because it's more memorable in the areas. It feels more magical as an experience, whereas Thorpe Park just feels like a day out for thrill seekers. Which, again, I'm not complaining about. It just feels like you look at the Swarm, they're clearly capable of it and kind of want to do it. And Hyperia to an extent, yes, but I don't know, I just feel more attached to Haunted Towers for me.
I think it's interesting with what's happening with Universal as well, because there's potentially a lot of IPs coming to the UK, and are Merlin going to go down that path considering what's happening with Minecraft? But they can't do that to Towers, because Towers is special because of their own story making.
Yeah.
You can't get a Nemesis anywhere else in the world like that.
That's why for me, The Walking Dead, the ride is the perfect example of something that should be removed. Either, I don't want to say retheme the ride, because the ride's been there since like 1999 as X, No Way Out. So for me, it would need a whole new attraction, whatever goes in there. But it's a ride like that today that's shown for me these IPs don't work, especially The Walking Dead. It's not really much of a thing in the UK, and it wasn't when it came out in 2018 at Thorpe Park. So I just think for me, it's a bit of a wasted IP of all the things that Thorpe could do. Like, you look at Saw, that I get for the market and the demographic, but then The Walking Dead, I don't know, it's a bit of a ipsy-turny.
They exclude people as well, because I was too scared of the idea of going on Walking Dead. Whereas if it was just a normal ride, I'd have gone on.
Stuff like that as well doesn't help. I know it's not really, it's only like a few seconds of an experience, but again, it's those things that clearly today has made a change. Anything else you want to touch upon?
It was still wonderful, and thank you to all of the staff. Everyone was so lovely and working so hard. And
yeah, it's been genuinely, though, a really good day. Couldn't be more glad that we got to do this opportunity. And yeah, like I said, definitely a park I'd love to visit in the future. Love to really get a bit more of the rides in and actually sample a lot more of the park, because there's a lot more to sample. It's not something you can do on your first visit. And bear in mind, we only went on stuff once. Obviously, our most attraction was Tidal Wave.
yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
3 times.
So, quite interesting to
No
see what you can
regret.
get there. But yeah, it's been an absolutely great day. And with that in mind, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you have enjoyed watching it, guys. We are obviously visiting another theme park in the next 24 hours as of recording. So it's going to be very supernatural, super exciting there to see what it's going to be like there. So if you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Please leave a like on the channel. Let's build this community up. And let's go see more theme parks. But without further ado, I hope you have enjoyed. It's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
And we'll see you for the next video.